Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're learning English or really any language, you're probably always looking for that switch, right? That thing that takes you from just being understood to actually feeling fluent, moving past just translating in your head. Well, today we are diving deep into exactly that secret. And spoiler alert, it's got nothing to do with memorizing tons of flashcards or, talking super fast. Have you ever just listened to someone speaking English really naturally? They sound so smooth. It's that flow, that kind of effortless rhythm. That's our focus today. We're going to unpack how you can make that flow automatic for yourself.
Yeah, and our source material for this is really practical. We're looking at excerpts from episode 6 of the English Cafe podcast. It's titled The Secret of Word Chunks for Natural English Fluency. And it really zeroes in on getting past that slow, sometimes painful word-by-word translation process. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Give you the blueprint from that source. We'll define this. Secret weapon fluent speakers use the word chunk. And we'll give you the actual steps straight from the podcast for building up your own sort of chunk bank. Honestly, it really feels like the shortest road to sounding more authentic.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this core idea. Because the source says fluent speakers don't build every sentence from scratch, do they? They use patterns they already know. So first things first, what exactly is a word chunk?
Well, the material puts it nicely. It's basically a short, ready-made group of words. Think of it like a little prepackaged phrase you can just grab and reuse in lots of different situations. It acts like one single unit. Could be an idiom, a common expression, or just words that always seem to show up together.
Ah, okay. So instead of thinking word by word.
Exactly. Like maybe in school you learned the words end, of, the day, 4 separate things. But a fluent speaker, they don't piece that together on the fly. They just grab a whole block. At the end of the day, it's one thing in their memory.
Got it. One unit.
Yeah, and the source gives some great examples of these workhorse phrases, not just at the end of the day, but simple things too. Like, you know what I mean? Or when you're not quite sure about something, I'm not sure, but I think.
Right.
So for you, the learner, if you could just pull out these ready-made tools, your communication speed, well, it basically jumps up immediately. You're not stuck translating.
That's a really helpful way to think about it. A tool, not a grammar rule.
Hmm.
Because, yeah, if you're pulling from this inventory of phrases, you're not having to consciously apply grammar rules every single time you talk. You just use the pattern that works.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this leads us to the big payoff, right?
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. The cognitive relief it provides.
I totally remember when I was learning my second language, just the sheer mental effort it took to put together even a simple question. It was, well, exhausting.
Oh, absolutely. And the source really emphasizes that. That cognitive load, assembling sentences word by word, that's what makes it feel slow and clunky.
Yeah.
Think about it like building with Legos. If you're a traditional learner, it's like you have this huge bucket of tiny single bricks. And for every single sentence, you're digging through, looking for the right piece, checking the complicated blueprints, the grammar rules. It takes forever.
Yeah, I feel that analogy.
But when you use chunks, you're not grabbing single bricks. You're grabbing a whole pre-built section. Like the turret is already made, the window piece, maybe a whole wall segment.
Okay.
So your brain isn't focused on the construction. It's focused on picking the right unit for the job. And that's how you shift from that internal translation monologue
Yeah.
to actually sounding like someone who, well, thinks in English.
And that mental space, that relief, that's where the rhythm comes from, isn't it? It's not just faster, it sounds more musical.
Precisely. Fluency isn't just about how many words you know. It's so much about rhythm, stress, intonation. The music of the language, like you said.
Huh.
And chunks. They automatically have the right patterns built in. If you learn the phrase, I couldn't agree more, as one thing,
Mm-hmm.
you naturally say it with the right conversational stress. You don't pause and think, wait, is he couldn't agree or couldn't agree more? The whole thing just comes out sounding, well, natural.
That makes so much sense. So the key takeaway from the source, and this is huge for any learner, is this. Fluency isn't really about knowing more individual words. It's about knowing how words travel together. How words travel together. I like that.
Yeah, knowing which words are like best friends, always together, and which ones barely know each other.
Okay, I love that framing. So if we need to stop just collecting single words and start collecting these traveling companions, we probably need a system, right? The source material actually gives a pretty neat framework. It divides chunks into 4 main categories, which sounds super useful for, actively listening and building that chunk bank.
Yeah, it really helps organize things.
So the first couple of categories are about social interaction. Category 1 is social chunks. These are the basics for just everyday chat, making connections, usually short, kind of routine phrases. Things like, how's it going? Or, that's a good point. And maybe something more emphatic, like if someone tells you something wild, you've got to be kidding me.
Right. And it's interesting, these social ones often don't follow strict grammar rules perfectly, but they're absolutely vital for just functional everyday talk. They show you're part of the conversation, not just reciting grammar exercises.
Okay, makes sense. What's the second type?
The second category is really important for actually expressing yourself, getting past just yes or no. These are opinion chunks. They kind of set the stage for you to state what you think. So you want phrases like, in my opinion, or the slightly more informal, to be honest.
Or if you're basing it on what you've observed, from what I've seen. Very useful.
Okay, but I have to jump in here for a sec because this is where I imagine some learners might hesitate. If I just start using all these ready-made phrases, won't I sound a bit like a parrot? Like, where's the creativity? Won't I sound robotic?
That's a really common concern, a good question. And the material kind of touches on this. Think of it like building a house. These chunks are the essential framework, the scaffolding. They handle the common repetitive parts of the conversation, greeting someone, agreeing, giving a basic opinion.
Okay.
Using these chunks frees up your mental energy, so then you can be creative with the specific details, using the individual words you know to fill in the picture. The chunk is the frame. Your unique thoughts are the art inside.
Ah, I see. So handle the predictable stuff efficiently with chunks so you have brain power left for the unique stuff.
Exactly. You're not replacing creativity, you're creating space for it.
Gotcha. Okay, so what are the other two categories? Right. The last two are great for managing the conversation's flow and pace. Category 3 is thinking pausing chunks. These are absolute lifesavers when you just need a second to gather your thoughts or maybe rephrase something without that awkward silence descending.
Oh yeah, definitely need those. Totally. So things like, let me see, or what I mean is, perfect for clarifying. And the classic one that gives you wiggle room, it depends on the situation. That buys you time and shows you see the complexity. It depends. Yes, use that one a lot. And the final category.
The fourth one is all about connection, showing you're listening. Agreement chunks. These help build rapport and keep the conversation flowing nicely. You want to go beyond just nodding or saying yes.
Right, you need variety. Yeah, so you grab things like, exactly, or the supportive. That's so true.
Or for strong agreement, I couldn't agree more. Having a few different ways to agree makes you sound way more engaged.
Okay, brilliant. So we've got social, opinion, thinking, pausing, and agreement chunks. We know what to look for now. But how do we actually get these into our active vocabulary? How do we make them automatic?
Well, this is where the source offers a really cool practical training method. It's called chunk shadowing. And it's specifically designed to train your brain to use these chunks without thinking, moving beyond just recognizing them. It's not about flashcards. It's about absorbing the sound, the rhythm.
Chunk shadowing. Okay, how does it work? It's pretty straightforward, 4 steps. Step 1, listen. Find a short bit of real English audio. A podcast clip, maybe a movie scene, YouTube video.
Just needs to be natural speech. Keep it short, like 30 seconds to a minute is plenty to start.
Okay, listen to something short and natural. Step 2.
Spot. While you're listening, you actively try to identify and write down the natural phrases you hear.
The key here is phrases, groups of words working together, not single vocabulary items. This is where you catch those opinion chunks or social chunks being used in real life.
Right, spotting the chunks in the wild. What's next?
Repeat. And this is crucial. It's different from just memorizing. You say the chunk out loud immediately after hearing it, trying to copy it exactly.
Focus hard on the rhythm, the intonation, where the pauses are. You're basically mimicking the speaker's delivery, acting it out.
So really get into it. Like, if they sound excited saying, you've got to be kidding me, I should sound excited too.
Yes, absolutely. Get theatrical. That intense focus on the sound helps your brain link the phrase directly to the meaning and the feeling, kind of bypassing the slow grammar route.
Okay, mimic the sound and feel. Then the last step must be, the most important one, the one that makes it stick. Reuse. This takes a bit of courage.
You have to consciously look for chances to drop those chunks you just practiced into your actual conversations. or texts or voice notes, whatever you use.
Ah, the scary part, using it for real.
It is. Because, yeah, at first, using a new chunk can feel a bit weird, maybe artificial, like you're trying on clothes that aren't quite yours yet. But pushing through that initial awkwardness is what makes it become your phrase. It shifts from something you know to something you use automatically. You just kind of overcome that little bit of fear.
Okay, let's make that concrete. The source gives an example, right? Like someone asks, how was the movie? A sort of standard, maybe translating in your head answer might be, the movie was entertaining, but it was long. Fine, a bit flat.
Right.
But using chunks, the fluent response sounds more like, at the end of the day, it was entertaining, just a bit long.
Yeah, that sounds way more natural.
See, at the end of the day, and just a bit long, those are chunks. They're conversational building blocks that make it smooth. It's not a grammar test. It's just how people actually talk.
Okay, that example really clarifies it. So shadowing it helps you internalize them. Reuse makes them active.
Exactly. Which brings us neatly to the final part, the actual practice challenge from the source material itself. This is like your homework for this week.
Okay, hit us with it. What's the challenge? It's simple but effective. Choose 5 new word chunks this week. Just 5. They can be from any of those 4 categories we talked about. Social, opinion, whatever. 5 chunks. Got it. And then, and the key instruction here is don't just study them on a list. Use them. Actively integrate them. The source suggests things like text them to a friend. Say them out loud while you're walking around. Use them in voice notes if you do those.
Ah, so force yourself to use them in real communication, even if it feels a bit clinky at first.
Precisely. The goal is quick, applied repetition in context. Use each one maybe 3 or 4 times in different situations pretty quickly. And the promise from the source is, by the end of the week, those 5 phrases will start feeling much more automatic, much more natural coming out of your mouth.
That sounds doable. 5 chunks, use them actively.
Yeah, and it all ties back to that main idea. Every fluent speaker you listen to, the ones you admire, they're all using these chunks constantly.
That's what creates that natural English sound. Much more than having perfect grammar, actually. It's about the building blocks, not just the individual bricks.
Right.
If we boil it down one last time, fluency relies on repetition, rhythm, and that automatic recall. Chunks deliver all 3 at once. They help you skip that exhausting translation step. Okay, so our final challenge to you, the listener, straight from the source, start your own chunk bank, like right now. Get a notebook or a file on your phone, whatever works, and start writing down every useful phrase you hear. TV shows, songs, conversations. Stop only collecting single words, start grabbing these pre-made units. And here's the final thought to leave you with, building on all this. The source suggests something really powerful.
Once you really build up and start automatically using your chunk bank, you'll hit this point where you realize you don't need to translate English in your head anymore.
Wow.
You just play your chunks. You select the right pre-made phrase for the moment. That's the feeling of effortless fluency you should be aiming for.
That's a fantastic goal. Not translating, just playing the chunks. Okay, powerful stuff. So go find those 5 chunks today. Try the shadowing technique. Put them into play. Thanks for diving deep with us on this one.
Yeah, give it a go.
We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.